I still think queen f4. Queen f5 is also okay. But queen f4 keeps an eye on h2. It keeps an eye on things like knight b5, knight c7. And g3 is weakening white on the h5 d1 diagonal a little bit. So it's not necessarily a one-way street. If white plays g3, he may regret weakening his kingside or her kingside later. So Sophia Rogers, your name reminds me of two grandmasters. Ian Rogers and Michael Rode, because Michael Rode's wife is Sophia, and Ian Rogers is an Australian chess journalist who would always come with his wife to tournaments, and they would take photos and do articles for like New in Chess and stuff like that. So a combination of Ian Rogers and Michael Rode, or the wives thereof. Bishop e3, queen c7, queen f5, queen b8. Where do we want to go? Queen b8 looks like a little passive but very compact. And queen c7 seems to just walk right into knight b5, which doesn't seem right. Queen g4 is not really great. Queen f5. Queen f5 is kind of okay, I guess. Could get hit by bishop d3, though it's not like a tragedy. Queen b8, g3. Queen b8, g3, bishop g4, for example. I think this move is pretty solid. The most solid continuation. On f5, my queen is a little bit more exposed. One of our only GMs. Who's that? Take it easy, Spinal Chat. Thanks for joining us, man. You're going to take a big break from internet gaming and chess activity, like watching streams, to get good at chess. Okay, but you promise not to spend your life learning the C3 Sicilian, right? We discussed this already. Sophia Rogers says, hey, on the chat. I didn't notice that before. Hey, hi. So queen b8, super solid move. We have the bane of our existence, the C3 Sicilian. Guys, we'll probably have time for one more game if anybody wants to throw out a challenge. Ian Rogers, right. Yeah, so this Sophia Rogers name, it always makes me think about Ian Rogers and Michael Rode and his wife Sophia, who was like a tournament director and always around in all these like American Swiss system tournaments. So queen b8. I played Ian Rogers once, Svedlife. He beat me in the New York Open. I followed Roman's recommendation to play this line of actually I didn't follow Roman's recommendation. Maybe that's why I lost. Now that I'm remembering, maybe it was not following Roman's recommendation was why I lost to Ian Rogers. I'm so tempted to play knight to g4 here. What's up with that? Knight g4. I give up the center at d5. Give up my e-pawn, probably. What are my options? Bishop d7? Bishop d7 looks good. That's a very solid move. Why not? I mean, why not develop a piece here? Why do I have to play knight g4 and go off on some insane tangent? I just play a simple and solid move. So I played the Accelerated Dragon against Ian Rogers, and I didn't follow Gingy's advice because it was this weird position where you like put your queen out on h5, and it would almost get trapped in these like 15 move variations he studied and stuff. And I was just like, man, this is crazy. How do you do that? So I tried to play another line that I didn't really know, and Rogers just beat me very easily. It's not a good idea to like play lines that you're not very confident in against strong GMs. You really have to know what you're doing if you're going to go up against a 2600 player. So just kind of winging it doesn't cut it. Spinal Tap Chest says Sophia's still directing. Yeah, she always loved me. We're good buddies. I can't say Michael and I ever... I mean, I never had a problem with him, but he always seemed like... I mean, I have no issues with the guy at all, but he never seemed like he was in a good mood. He seemed like he was always in a bad mood. Never really smiled, never friendly, ever. It was weird. But his wife was quite friendly, outgoing, and like pleasant, you know. So bishop d7. Yeah, this is a weird move. I'm not like... I'd love to play the active move, knight g4, I really would. But I think after g3, I'm not completing my development there. I've got a queen on b8, my rook's on a8, and I think it's you know, it's time to get some pieces in the game. If I play knight g4, I leave the d5 square totally to white, basically. Sophia Rogers here with a bit knight e2, very very like passive kind of move. Had an interesting training game with a student of mine yesterday where we had a similar position, and I ended up playing a6 in a similar position and ended up weakening b6 very seriously. So now I'm kind of reticent to play the move a6 after said game yesterday, but what's the point with knight e2? Like, you want to play bishop f4? Knight g4 is interesting. Still, it looks kind of dangerous. Knight e5 is interesting. How about knight e5 for me? I feel like I'm again going out on some kind of weird tangent here. Really sort of asking for it with this move. I'm probably lucky if I'm not losing. But I have calculated this a little bit. If bishop f4, I have bishop c6. And then the idea is knight h5. Maybe bishop c6 is not the best square, though. I could even play bishop c8 if I want to. Bishop c6, knight d4, knight h5, knight takes... Yeah, it's okay for me. Pretty strange. Sophia Rogers may be able to smash my pawn structure, but I would think that it would be like a Caro Kann type of thing where I have like A and C pawns. The A and C pawns are not too bad. Everything hinges on knight h5 for black. So I'm aware that, you know, white's about to open up like a double attack on my e5 knight. But this is a safe way for white to play, I guess. So, yeah, this is what I was talking about. I don't think I can sack my pawn on e7. But the white knight is bad on a3. Black has a good fianchetto bishop, and there should be like plenty of compensation for this slightly inferior structure we have. Maybe we can get some. Maybe we could get some direct pressure on b2. Maybe not. Maybe it's just, yeah, it's just a fantasy. But nevertheless, I think that our knight on d5 is so monstrous that it justifies our pawn structure inferiority here. I could always take, I guess, on d4 if I have to, but that's not really what I want to do. King is very safe. I call this like the Alexander Ivanov pawn structure, because Sasha always, I don't know if he's an American Russian grandmaster, you guys might not know if you're from Europe, but he always has this pawn structure with black, like every game. In the modern defense, it's always like bishop on g7, lots of pawns around the king. He likes to play the Gurgenidze Caro-Kann, modern defense. Sophia Rogers, I think you're gonna be playing a3 if I play a4, right? Spinal Tap saying Michael Road, yeah. Move it on, Sophia. Sophia has like 15 years on me, or 20, I don't know. Yeah, man, don't joke about things like that. I'm not that old yet. Rook b6. Try to double up, triple up on me on that pawn. We don't want to play a4 unless we can be sure we can break through it at b2. Triple up on me. I hope I don't fall for some kind of back rank tactic. What is that? How can you do that? What? Oh man. Oh man, what is this? How does this work? Jeez, look at this. Queen f7 is the computer tactic. Picking up my knight on d5. I have to play king here. But I don't know. Now you just get 3 pawns for the piece or something? What's the deal here? White gets 3 pawns for a piece? That's okay. I'm cool with that. There's no back rank mate. I mean, you can sack your queen for rook and bishop if you want. But I don't think that's convincing. Lost our mouse. No increment, and we've got a time edge. Yeah, there's 3 pawns for a piece. Doesn't seem like... I guess I prefer black here. But there's the a5 pawn is hanging as well, so I have to be a bit careful. Again, queen d8 sacks the queen for not enough material. So I guess I gotta like black in the time situation. Queen c5. Okay. I have to be very careful. And now, kind of serious threat. How do I get out of this? Jeez.